Hi, I'm AC, and welcome back to Middle America News. It's good to be back. I had to take a few days off for personal reasons, but I'm fired up and ready to go. So let's do it. Today we're going to talk about what is the definition of treason. The dictionary connotation of treason is the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. The second definition of treason is the action of betraying someone or something. So my question today to the American people is, would you consider any of these things to be treason? Giving our enemy, Russia, a pipeline. Shutting down our own energy independence so we're dependent on foreign countries like Saudi Arabia and Iraq. Letting more than 10 million illegals enter our country since 2021, the greatest number in the history of any administration. When inflation is at its highest and people are struggling the most, the answer is to hire 85,000 IRS agents that carry weapons. Because one of the politicians said, most Americans cheat on their taxes. To hire a disinformation police force so they can put anyone in jail that questions or don't agree with a certain political position, which would violate our First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. To be $34 trillion in debt, but yet still borrow $75 billion for assistance with the Ukraine's war. Also, just recently passing another bill for $95 billion to support Israel, Taiwan, and you got it, more money for the Ukraine. Did you know we're already contracted with Israel to give them $3 billion a year? Covering the bills of NATO countries that don't want to pay their fair share? Letting criminals steal up to $950 without any real consequence, leaving the store owner holding the bag? From my personal experience, when criminals graffiti my building, I'll get a letter from the city telling me I have 2 weeks to clean it or I will be fined $150. I guess if you can't catch the criminal, the victim has to pay. So when your family is struggling and in debt and you're living paycheck to paycheck, would you go to your neighbors and pay their bills before your own? I believe you have to have your house in order first. Then you can step outside to help others, but not until then. We give Israel $3 billion a year already, and they're not asking for any more help. They would like us to step aside so they can finish the job. But for political reasons, our country is trying to play both sides, asking for ceasefire in the middle of a war. Just the opposite of what Israel wants. They say it's for humanitarian reasons, so they drop in a few protein bars and some bottled waters, when we all know it's bull. They're only doing it because they don't want to lose any votes. Ukraine is not a democratic country, and they're just as corrupt as Russia. Remember Hunter Biden and Jim Carrey's son were both on the energy board of the Ukraine, making $80,000 a month with zero experience. We already funded the Ukraine $75 billion, and now we just passed another bill to give them more money. So if we take that $75 billion plus the $95 billion, which would equal $170 billion, we could solve the majority of problems in our own country. When you're not putting your family/country first, and all external things take precedence over your internal taxpayers' dollars, what would you call that? Hit me up. I'd like to know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe.